Hello and welcome to the last review before I go on vacation. But don't worry, while on vacation, I will still be seeing as many movies as I possibly can and be putting out reviews as soon as humanly possible as well. So I did see a documentary tonight. It's been one I've been really dying to see because it comes from one of my favorite documentarian filmmakers of all time, and that would be Errol Morris. Hope I said that right. He is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. I really love him as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, as a interviewer, if that's the right word to say. He's made some really great films, and some of his documentaries, I know at least one of them called The Thin Blue Line, has affected, once that movie came out, it affected the people that were a part of that documentary, and changes were made. I got to see that film. You got to see that film, The Thin Blue Line. It's a great film, and also he won an Oscar in 2003 for Fog of War, which is another great film. That kind of most of his films where he's interviewing people. He is it's like a one-on-one. He has like this weird camera setup that he has, where he can. I don't know if he's in the same room, but maybe he's in another room where he's actually looks like he's actually talking to the person face to face, and the camera is face to face, so he can actually really. I think it's something that he invented or someone he knows that invented it, and so he can have like a really honest conversation at the same time, record it so we can get it and enjoy it as well. This film is about Donald Rumsfeld, and it's a film I forgot to mention. It is called The Unknown Knowns. So 2 minutes into the review and I forgot to mention the name of the film. It is about Donald Rumsfeld, and for a person like myself who only really knows Donald Rumsfeld by name, because I stopped following the news or caring about the news or even watching the news probably since 9/11, because when 9/11 happened, I was watching television and was watching everything that was going on for months and months and months, and I got really burned out, and you know, most of the news is really depressing, so I haven't really followed much. Of course, I've heard things, you know, I'm in the world, I know what's going on somewhat. Anyways, so back to the movie. This is a fabulous film. This is, you know, Errol Morris is a filmmaker that I just admire, and I love his style of storytelling. I don't know if I agree with everything that he says or everything that he's a part of, but I do admire him as a filmmaker and the way he really gets into these people's minds and gets these answers out of them. Of course, this is probably history according to Donald Rumsfeld. I don't know how much truth we got in this, but it seems like Errol Morris wanted to get as much truth as he humanly possibly could. And, you know, he really looked like he tried to become Donald Rumsfeld's friend, or at least admirer, and just wanted to like, get his side of the story of what's been going on in his life, because we do get an examination of his early life, working with with Nixon and Gerald Ford, and then going on to work with George Bush Jr., President George Bush Jr., and all the stuff that was going on. So I think I learned something tonight. I don't know if I've seen the truth, but what I do know is that I've seen something that you know, made me think, made me want to listen, wake up and listen, and you know, maybe not be so closed-minded as sometimes I am. Sometimes I just mainly focus on the entertainment that's in my life, and it's kind of fun to talk about the entertainment life, you know, movies, television, and you know, kind of forget the world's problems, or maybe my own problems. Maybe that's why I go to the movies, so I can forget my own problems. But, you know, I like seeing movies like this. I like documentaries. I love documentaries. Some documentaries are my favorite films of all time, but especially Errol Morris. And at the end of the film, it said the movie was in memory of Roger Ebert, who I know was a big fan of this filmmaker, and I'm a big fan of Roger Ebert, so I was really touched by the fact that his latest film, The Unknown Knowns, was dedicated to Roger Ebert, because Roger Ebert probably would have loved this film. He probably loved everything. I loved everything that Errol Morris has done, and this is just another great film. I don't know if I love this as much as the last film or the films before that. I think Fog of War and The Thin Blue Line, and even the last film called Tabloid, are some of my favorite documentaries, especially coming from Mr. Morris. This is a great one, and I definitely highly recommend it. If you're like me and you're not really knowledgeable about Donald Rumsfeld and you want to just get his side of the story from his mouth, because it's all interviews tied in with movie clips, not movie clips, but news clips, and great music by Danny Elfman. Yes, who would have thunk you would ever see a movie that incorporated the talents of Danny Elfman and Donald Rumsfeld? I know Danny Elfman has actually written a few scores before for Errol Morris, but it's just kind of unique. And it was a really great score. It's definitely Danny Elfman. It's definitely worth listening to over and over again. And this movie soundtrack could also be like a Tim Burton movie soundtrack. I mean, it was that close, which I'm not surprised by. But I really like this movie. I highly recommend it. If you can find it in your area, it'll probably eventually be on the net somehow, whether it's through Netflix or Amazon or Hulu. But I definitely recommend it, especially if you like movies that tackle hard subjects, especially with the people that are the ones that dealt with it. All right, I give The Unknown Knowns a solid 3.5 stars out of 4. I'm MovieManCHAD. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Twitter and I'm on Facebook. And please go to WeLiveFilm.com and subscribe right here on YouTube to We Live Film. Also go to Long Beach Acting and Film Association right here on Facebook and Twitter. Please also go to MoviePilot.com. And if you've enjoyed this video review, please click right here, subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. I hope to see some more movies while I'm on vacation and have reviews for you within the next week. I had some movies that came out this weekend: Oculus, Rio 2, and maybe something else that I haven't seen. Of course, we've got The Heaven is for Real coming out. I've seen Transcendence, and whatever else is coming out next weekend, I hope to catch it as well. Thank you so much again for watching. Have a great night. Have a great life. I hope and I love you all, and I'm thankful for your viewership and watching me talk about movies. Peace be with you, my friends.